I welcome all the students from different universities and the colleges. We can talk of rules and regulations later. Let's start with the topic. Topic of the day is let's talk of economy. When we are talking of an economy, we are going to start with what's GDP. GDP is gross domestic product, which is a monetary measure of the market value of all the final goods and the services produced in a period of time, often annually. When talking about the final goods, I'm not talking about the wheat, I'm not talking about the flour, I'm not talking about the bread, I'm not talking about the ready-made sandwich or the pizza. Final product, which is a sandwich, which is being sold by the stores or the restaurants. All right. So the gross domestic product is a monetary measure of the market value of all the final goods and the services produced in a period of time, often annually. GDP, if mathematical formula, if we have to make for that, then GDP is equal to private consumption plus the gross investment plus government investments plus the government spending plus export minus import. What does that mean? If the export will be more than the imports, that is going to increase the GDP, whereas when the imports will be more than the exports, that's going to dent the GDP. All right, so this is a base. Then now main question. Main question is that much I think you all know. I need not to explain much on that. Even then your questions you can put in a chat box. Now, how to increase the GDP? First thing is increase in population. So if in my country, if the population is increased by 1% per annum, then there is a probability that my GDP will grow by 1% every year. And if there will be addition in the population, then there will be a requirement of milk, there will be a requirement of food, there will be a requirement of schools, there will be a requirement of the colleges, there will be a requirement of the hospital, and plus on and on. So first thing is, when there will be increase in population, there is a probability, I'm saying again, there is a probability that the GDP will grow. But now, second thing is increase in debt or the leveraging. Suppose we are 50 people and every person has a salary of ₹1,00,000 per month. So how much our earning is? Our earning is 50 lakhs. Now we cannot spend more than 50 lakhs. We are earning 50 lakhs per month. If we will save something today, may be able to spend it later. We can spend more than what we are earning. Say one individual cannot spend more than 1 lakh if it is he or she is earning 1 lakh rupees per month. But yes, there is a one way out, that is if you borrow money. Suppose you want to go on world tour and you borrow money for that from a lender or a bank or an institute. So then you can say, if you borrow 15 lakh rupees for world tour, or maybe 25 lakh rupees for world tour, or for 40 lakh rupees for world tour, whatever may be the amount, but your income is 1 lakh rupees per month, even then you can spend 20, 30, 40 lakh rupees if you borrow the money for a particular purpose. Suppose you want to take a bigger house, if you want to take a new house that may cost 1 crore rupees, you go and borrow say 75 lakh rupees from the bank. It means your salary may be 1 lakh rupees, but you can spend 75 lakh rupees today. Say what I said, if our income we are the 50 people in an economy and our income is 1 lakh rupees per month, though we cannot spend more than 50 lakh rupees per month. But if we borrow, say if someone borrow today, this month, and someone is borrowing the next month, someone is borrowing on the next to next month, if we all are borrowing for the consumer, borrowing for the even say new house, new car, new two-wheeler, new refrigerator, new whatever, new furniture, say for the paint or whatever. We are spending today without having the amount by the borrowing, by taking leveraging, then we can have higher rate of growth in economy. Higher the leveraging, the possibility of growth of economy is much more. Suppose now the 50 lakhs people are those who 50 people are earning 1 lakh rupees. The total sum is 5 lakh rupees per month, which can be spent. Now, if one is borrowing for the world tour, 15 lakh or 20 lakh rupees, one is borrowing for the new house, say 75 lakh rupees or 2 crore rupees, and one is spending for, say, going abroad for higher educations and then taking a loan of 50 lakh rupees. So when even three people takes about average loan of say 1 crore rupees, so then expenditure in that particular month is going to be much higher. Not only the 50 lakh rupees, it can be 5 crore. All right, say even three people are taking a loan of 1 crore each, then it can be 3 crore plus 50 lakhs. That is the capacity where they can spend that much. So what I am saying, second thing, if the economy has to grow, that has to grow on the leveraging. So this is the second. And third, which is very important, that is country produce the business people, those who can maximize the wealth of households. There are the many countries, there are the many business person. If I talk about the companies like Amazon, I talk about the company like Reliance, I talk about the company like Microsoft, I talk about the investors like Warren Buffett, if I talk company like Coca-Cola, if I talk about a company like Wipro or Infosys or even Maruti, if I talk about these companies, then the people think that their money will be safe when they are transferring their money. Their household, they don't have the courage to do the business. They are an employees. They are getting the salary. They are getting a fixed income, but they want also want to grow. So they are not ready to take the risk, and they don't know how to do the business. What they transfer their money. They're the one thing. They're the two things. Two things is what we are earning, we are spending, and we are saving as some pie of our earning. If that saving is cycled or utilized by the business people, those who are ready to take the risk, then that country, if that culture is developed in any country, so that country can grow to any extent. But if in any country there are the many Ponzi schemes, they says that we will double your money, and the households lend them the money, and after that they regret that their capital is being lost. So they worry. They don't want to part their money. They will keep money in their saving accounts or in their almaras or in somewhere else. But they will not transfer that money to the right people until unless the savings of the households is not being transferred to the enterprise or the businesses, to the right businesses or right enterprise. Till the time, forget about any country which can grow in a big way, that can become a big economy. Once the people starts parting their savings into investments, in a big investments, where they can trust that my money will be multiplied. If someone would have invested into Wipro a long back, about 10, 20 years back in 1990s, so we are about, it's 30 years, the money is being multifold. If somebody would have invested into Infosys, if somebody, or you just take an example of Flipkart. There was a very small amount there was an amount which was being invested, that is how much they have got the exposure valuation. They could manage to sell 75% of their size of the company to Walmart at the rate of, say, it was a big pie, about 18 billion US dollars. So what I'm talking about is the country, if can produce the right enterprise or right people or right individuals which can really transform, or they're the two things. What a enterprise can help to the economy can be recognized. One is going to maximize your wealth, maximize the wealth of the company. Second is going to generate employment to the country. When there the more employment will be there, there will be more demand also in the economy. It's a cycle. When there the more people are going to get the more salary hikes, or there will be more jobs, there will be a more demand. When there will be more demand, then there is a probability of birth of new business people. All right. So there I have talked about increase in population, increase in leveraging. And if you have any doubt, any question, you can raise that question. I like those students, those who can listen the lecture as a critic, not as a student. Student is what which is being told, they are going to accept it. I want, you are not in a classroom, you are not in a college. Now you are in internship, you are in a new world where you can raise the question. There is a no threat. Our internship may go long for 1.5 months. You can ask, sir, you are not talking right. This can be, or you are right, but there can be a second way. There another way. There can be another opinion. All right. So then I invite you for the questions and your suggestions and your opinions. If you will really work like we will work for 1.5 month for the growth of the both of teacher as well as the students. You will learn lot many things. I will also learn lot many things from you. Knowledge is not a personal property of any single person. All right, let's go on. If household can trust and lend their money to the business people or to enterprise, I think that is the real trigger to the growth of any country. Now, where the Indian household park their savings? Real estate, gold, bank fixed deposit. I invite you to write where else they invest their money. Their 80-85% of the saving goes to real estate, gold, or the bank fixed deposit. Bank fixed deposit is the biggest pie, is the bank fixed deposit. Stock market, if some of you are saying stock market, equity, it means it goes only 4 to 5% of total savings, not more than that. If I talk about US, this data, I tell you that was this figures which I have taken, that was of December 2019 or January 20. So then I am going to tell you the size of these companies. Some may have the valuation may have gone up, or some may have been reduced after this COVID-19. So these figures may vary, may not be the same which I had at the time before the COVID-19. So Apple, I'm talking about it's a net worth of the company. Apple is 926 billion US dollar. Amazon 777 billion US dollar. Alphabet is Google, 766 billion US dollar. Microsoft 750 billion US dollar. Facebook 541.5 billion US dollar. Alibaba, which is of Chinese company, that is somewhere near to 500 billion US dollar. Warren Buffett's company Berkshire 491 billion US dollar. Then JP Morgan, that is 387 billion US dollar. Tencent, that's again Chinese company, which is 490 or 500 billion US dollar. And then there is a Exxon Mobil, that's 344 billion US dollar. If you just make a total of top 7 companies, then they are more than about about 7 companies in total. That's more than about 5 trillion US dollar. 5 trillion US dollar. So what is the size of Indian economy? In Jan 2020, it was somewhere near to 3 trillion US dollar, 2.84, 2.9 trillion US dollar. All these 5 companies, what I talked about, I talked, if country can produce a real enterprise which can really maximize the wealth of the company, which can really multiply the household saving many folds, that is a really a biggest trigger for the growth of any economy.